Hey everyone, Gamer Binu here. I just got back from the buzzing Path of Exile showcase event. The showcase turned out to be an absolute hit way beyond our expectations. We hit 5,000 viewers on the main channel alone, with tens of thousands who were watching premieres worldwide. Mind-blowing. PoE Buddy tells me the international response has been fantastic. Fun fact, our 10-to-1 build contest on Binu's Gaming has quite a following among PoE fans. During the broadcast, they translated my name to GamerSoap, but nobody connected the dots to Binu's Gaming being my channel. My Discord filled with messages from friends overseas caught me off guard. Our interpreter Chopra absolutely crushed it yesterday, which was surprising since he mentioned he was not even a hardcore PoE player. He recognized me instantly and said hi. Turns out he'd done an incredible amount of homework on PoE just for this event. He seemed to have learned it about me and his preparation was incredible. This was clear in the group interview in QA session. He was so well versed in PoE terminology that I didn't need to explain anything. That's what I call true professionalism. Even many PoE 1 veterans don't know that charm is now called Wushinbu in Korean. Yet he had perfect understanding of all the new PoE terms. I came prepared with notes to explain all the terms to the interpreter. Turns out I didn't need any of that since everything went smoothly. I'm also thankful to all the exiles who recognized and approached me at the event. Look forward to my upcoming vlog for more detailed event coverage. For now, let's dive into the key Q&A points and gameplay review, with many YouTubers covering yesterday's showcase Q&A. I'll focus on sharing new insights that haven't been covered elsewhere. Let's start with the class discussion. After 2 more hours with PoE2, the warrior class proved absolutely broken in early game. Other streamers watched the warrior play, all agreeing the warrior is OP with insane survivability and damage. Unlike melee and friendly boss patterns from PoE1, PoE2 balances threats between melee and ranged combat, with diverse mechanics including minion wiping patterns. This makes melee combat feel much more viable now. I didn't even need a shield during the demo. However, it took me 3 to 4 attempts on the King of the Mist. Late game balance is unknown, but early game strength is undeniable. Speaking of YouTube interview with Jonathan, they asked him which class he'd choose to start with. Jonathan said he'd go with Mercenary himself, but recommended the Warrior class for newcomers. Warriors have better survival for beginners. A class balance isn't very different between classes. Don't force yourself to pick Warrior if you prefer summons, spells, or crossbows. Pick whatever seems fun. You can always switch to optimal builds later. Above all, choose what you will enjoy playing. It's early access, and only the devs have experienced the full endgame. What's powerful now might change completely with future balance patches. During early access, just play what you want without following the meta. Many asked about Act 1 length in yesterday's stream. Devs designed it to take around 6 hours for average players. That estimate probably assumes you're watching all the story content. When I rushed through yesterday, I reached the Act 1 boss in about 2 hours. I was level 16 at that point. Given how I 3-shot the King of the Mist and other bosses, proper practice could bring that time under 90 minutes. Act 2 is much more complex. I got gameplay footage, but there's a 7-day embargo before I can share it. Let me share the questions I asked in the group interview. First, I asked about when they'd reveal the details of passive nodes and skill gems. I wanted to prepare and share builds before early access. Here's what they said. Both passive nodes and skill gems have leaked online. For everything else, check out today's demo. That was their way of answering based on their previous statements about releasing the database. It looks like they want players to experiment with their own builds once early access launches. Let's talk about stun mechanics. First, I asked whether staggered bosses count as being heavily stunned. Damage boost modifiers affect this condition. Titan also has these modifiers. GGG confirmed as yes. Staggered enemies count as heavily stunned and take all stun-related bonus damage. Next up, stun accumulation. I asked if higher stun values speed up stagger build up. They confirmed this too, but each stagger makes the next one harder to achieve, preventing infinite stagger locking of bosses. Early game, it's better to focus on raw damage rather than forcing a stun build. Next, I asked about the 20% attack speed bonus for dual wielding. Turns out the dual wielding system has been completely reworked. Every skill now has unique animations for one-handed and dual wielding styles. That's some impressive work they put in there. Before, most dual-wielded melee skills just alternated between weapons, except for dual strike. Skills can either hit with both weapons or alternate between weapons. But each style has different balance adjustments. For example, rolling slam hits with both weapons at once when dual-wielded. Using the same weapons doubles damage output versus one-handed. To balance this, dual-wielding takes 30% damage penalty. Bottom line, dual wielding deals 40% more damage than one-handed shield. Most skills deal 40% more damage when dual wielding versus one-handed weapons. Adding global suffix modifiers makes it even more powerful. Two-handed weapons outperform dual wielding. Warriors will likely need Blood of Giants, plus either a two-handed weapon with shield or dual two-handers. PoE2 lets you swap weapons and passives based on skills. I asked about using Firewall with Spec 1 and Lightning Spark with Spec 2. His skills like Fireball work fine, but with placement skills, I worried about weapon switching affecting damage. Thankfully, GGE confirmed damage is based on placement stats. This gives elemental builds much more flexibility. Zenjibetters asked about minions. Since Scepters of Spirit, you summon minions with scepters. The key question was, do summons persist when switching weapons with spellcasting, which reduces spirit? Sadly, the answer was no. Summons will be dispelled if spirit drops during weapon swapping. G-Betters then asked if the player counts as allies, since summoner rests must now cast spells. Summoner builds typically include many nearby allied buffs, like increased attack speed. After testing with items, they confirmed that allied buffs don't affect the player. The nearby allies mechanic is quite limited. The days of passive summoner gameplay are coming to an end. They redesigned Summoner Rest to be more hands-on with the action. It's concerning that Summoner Rest face spell penalties while being forced to use spells. While the late game strength of allies is crucial. Aspiring Summoner Rest, choose Infernalist class. You can flexibly switch between Summoner and Ignite builds based on the situation. This might sound a bit crazy, but I memorized nearly all revealed passive trees before the showcase. Since I was set on the warrior class, I memorized all the bottom right nodes completely. The passive tree in yesterday's build changed. For instance, where there were two medium nodes, the showcase version had one with 12% fire damage instead. I noticed several node changes. Similar changes in the monk to suggest ongoing balance adjustments. That's pretty technical stuff, but casual players just want to know if it's fun. The game is absolutely fantastic. The combat feels amazing with insane visuals, but it can get a bit overwhelming at times. I tried speed running through the acts, but even after just 2 hours I was completely exhausted. The main campaign turned out to be more demanding than I expected. Seeing others equally exhausted confirms that the game's fatigue factor is genuinely high. Dying to bosses and retrying them is not that frustrating. The desire to win and the satisfaction of victory keep you going despite the fatigue. The act layouts are overly complex and the maps feel needlessly huge. Maybe it's fun if you enjoy sightseeing, but I'm just too focused on getting things done. Focusing purely on combat while ignoring story and scenery made the maps feel enormous. Every encounter has unique patterns that keep you on your toes. It makes it tiring, adds to the fun, but contributes to exhaustion. Like a day at a theme park fun, but completely draining. That's pretty much how it works. Right later on, instead of learning boss patterns, I just switched weapons in town whenever I got stuck. Right from Act 1, weapons make a huge impact with mods like Plus, GGM levels and 50% physical damage. Weapon upgrades help defeat 3 bosses easily. If you're not great with mechanics, focus on learning good gear affixes instead of practicing gameplay. PoE1 players definitely have the upper hand here. Socket runes drop from Act 1. Some runes have 10 to 20 flat damage mods. Just adding a socket to your weapon gives an insane power boost. You can feel the power spikes in this game, don't be afraid to burn through your currency. I found 5 exalted orbs but couldn't craft rare weapons due to lack of regal orbs. Could beat the Act 1 boss with a 6 mod weapon using regals. Without any regal orbs, I was stuck using magic weapons. Talk to a TQ about game gear dependency. For small builds, adapt to your gear drops instead of following a preset early build. In PoE1, rolling magma was always the best charter skill. So you find an early PoE2 weapon with level to fire gems and 30% fire damage. It would be silly to force a spark build instead. Since you'll use various skills anyway, being flexible with your build based on early drops is key. Mercenary, Monk quad elemental damage gear. Warriors seek mods with 50% increased physical damage. Some rest benefit most from weapons with minion, gem levels and added minion damage. Unlike PoE1, weapons in PoE2 can now roll minion modifiers. This option's crucial for endgame builds. While on the topic, I've shared some tips to make the game easier. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop your thoughts and questions down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer what I can. Thanks for watching, see you next time.